Вони думали, зима нас зламає, і ми будемо в темряві і холоді помирати з голоду? Смішно. Все, що нас не
Finding your identity, I'd like you to elaborate on this, is more like a process of elimination than it is discovery. I've never heard that before.
We all want to figure out who we are. And I think the reasonable first step to figuring out who we are is let's define who we're not. Let's pick out those people, places, things we do, habits we have that don't pay us back, that don't feed us tomorrow, that don't give us green lights in the future.
You use the term green lights. What is, by definition, a green light?
A lot of successes I had were engineered by habits and choices I made that had consistency. That's what I call a science to satisfaction. I noticed what I was eating, who I was hanging out with, when I was going to bed, how I was approaching the day. There were consistencies that led to times in my life where I had more joy and more success, was catching more green lights. We also get those mystical green lights. Man, there's no reason, but there's a lot of rhyme. We met the right person, and damn it, if we'd have left 5 minutes later or 30 seconds earlier, we might not have met them. They might not be married with the family we have now, or might not have got that job if we wouldn't have been just right there on that time, crossing that person, going through that door as they were coming out. Those don't make any sense at the time, but when you look back, they connect the dots to right where we are. The science of satisfaction leads to the art of living.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today's going to be just tremendous. This is somebody that I've wanted to get to know for a long time and pick his brain. We've got a bunch of mutual friends, and I'm really excited that he's taken a space into sort of beginning to share more of what he's learned in his life and the journey that he's been on, which is a freaking remarkable life journey with some of the most amazing stories I've ever heard in my life. By the way, he's also an Academy Award winner, Best Actor. And so if you don't know who he is, you've been living under a rock for a long time. And today we'll unlift that rock and you'll get to know him a lot better than you probably ever have before. So Matthew McConaughey, welcome to the show, brother.
Ed, good to be here with you, man.
Yeah, it's so good to have you, man. And by the way, just before we get going, I have to tell you, my favorite acting performance of all time is you in Dallas Buyers Club. That is my favorite role of a leading man. My producers are all nodding that I have ever watched any actor in my life was you in that movie. So I just want to tell you that up front.
Oh, thank you. That's great to hear that. Thank you.
Amazing work, man. And I want to figure out how you gotten so good at what you do and how, life. By the way, write this down, guys, in the beginning, then we'll talk about it later. Write down emlivin.com. Emlivin, Livin.com. Because April 24th, I'm going to tease it now, something miraculous is going to happen. I can't even believe it's going to happen, that I'm going to be participating in and listening to myself. But we'll get to that in a minute. So can we get right into your brain, brother?
Let's go.
Let's go. So I think one of the cool things about personal development and the journey of self-awareness and whatnot is figuring out your identity. And so in preparing for this, I'm like, some of the things you say, I've not heard ever said this way in self-help, personal development, self-improvement. And you said, finding your identity, I'd like you to elaborate on this, is more like a process of elimination than it is discovery. I've never heard that before.
Well, we all want to figure out who we are. As Bob Dylan says, hey, everyone's their own creation, just create it. We all want to know what that is. The affirmative, way to go forward, how to play offense. But I found that that's hard, man. That's hard. What's much easier, and I think the reasonable first step to figuring out who we are is let's define who we're not. Let's pick out those people, places, things we do, habits we have that don't pay us back, that don't feed us tomorrow, that don't give us green lights in the future. Those investments that don't have ROI. Those ones that we keep waking up tomorrow in a little bit of a debit. Damn it, I got a hangover. I had the same amount of drinks at that bar as I have somewhere else, but I got a worse hangover. Well, maybe it was the conversation people we were hanging out with. Eliminate those, and by process of elimination, sheer mathematics, you end up with more room for the things that do feed you. So it's a much easier thing to start pointing out, you know what? I keep doing that, and it doesn't pay me back. I'm not getting my compounding asset on that decision or those people, places, and things. Eliminate those, and by sheer mathematics, we end up with more of what does feed us and pay us back, who we are.
Yeah, that's amazing you say that. I got interviewed yesterday. That's incredible. I got interviewed yesterday, guys. What are the steps of success? And I said to him, in my life, it's been more eliminating the things that were harming my progress. And it was like uncovering, this is the key. It was more like that hurt me. This took my energy away. This depleted me. That didn't serve me. Exactly what you just said. You use the term green lights, which, by the way, that's the title of his book that came out a couple years ago. You should read it, but if you really want to give yourself a gift, get the audio version. because you get to hear this voice of his, but like the impressions and the stories in the book are unbelievable. But because it's going to lead to what you're doing on April 24th. And it's also leads to just really kind of think the foundation of some of your belief systems in your work. What is by definition a green light?
Being cool to your future self.
Hmm.
Making choices we can engineer green lights. And then sometimes they're mystical. We love green lights. They're the left lane of life.
Hmm.
No speed limit, window down, T-top open, cruising. We got our direction and a full tank of gas. Let's roll. We love them. We're in the right line at the supermarket. We're in the flow, as it's called, right? Things are working out. Sometimes we're not even conscious of it. We were just in line and on time. Yes is the answer. And we're choosing the right things.
Yeah.
But it's investments that we make, choices we make. I noticed in writing the book that a lot of successes I had were engineered by habits and choices I made that had consistency. That's what I call a science to satisfaction. I believe there is a science to satisfaction. I noticed what I was eating, who I was hanging out with, when I was going to bed, how I was approaching the day. There were consistencies that led to times in my life where I had more joy and more success and was catching more green lights. I also noticed times where I was in a rut through my journals of, oh, you veered from these tried and true habits that you had that were leading to success and giving you more green lights. Ooh, let's get back in our lane over here. And sure enough, more success and green lights I started to create for myself. We also get those mystical green lights where we're just, man, there's no reason, but there's a lot of rhyme. We met the right person, and damn it, if we'd have, left 5 minutes later or 30 seconds earlier, we might not have met them. They might not be married with the family we have now, or might not have got that job if we wouldn't have been just right there on that time, crossing that person, going through that door as they were coming out.
So true.
Those don't make any sense at the time, but when you look back, they connect the dots to right where we are. And that gets into more of the art of living. So that's why I call it the science of satisfaction leads to the art of living. And what we're going to do on 24th is try and get under the hood to go from the approach that I gave a lot of in green lights more into the process and tools that each of us can hopefully utilize in our own lives, particularly for you or anyone who's going to tune in and say, oh, I recognize that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an aberration. To engineer more green lights, find that science so we can get better at the art of living.
Man, I cannot wait for this event. We're going to talk a little bit about this in a minute, you guys, but just remember this, emliving.com. You just want to participate, trust me, because you don't get, it's really rare. I'm so excited you've done this and decided to step in even deeper than the book for this reason. Personal development, self-help, a lot of times is sort of loaded with a lot of theory.
Yep.
And I love theories. I've lived off a lot of these theories, but there's something powerful when someone's applied something in their life that gives it credibility that it otherwise might not have, because you can back it with a story or a fact or an anecdote. And that this industry is sometimes polluted to some extent with a lot of theoretical stuff that hasn't been proven in someone's real life. And you've done this in your real life. And one of the things you talk about with these green lights, or even just having something happen, that you and I are both Christians, but we also believe in energy and vibration and frequency and all that stuff. And I think when you're in that flow, that green light mode, there's a vibration to you. There's an energy to you that these things are sort of drawn your way, and you are in that flow state. And there's something so profound you said in the book about this story where you're living with this producer, and you tell him, hey, I got to get an agent. I got to get an agent. So you're kind of like chasing the green light. And he said, hey, man, you need it. And you paint this amazing distinction, because I know it's been true in my life, between need and want, and why need is not a real good space to be in. So if you tell them the story and then the lesson learned from it, it's awesome.
Yeah. I get out to Hollywood with a couple $1,000 in my pocket. I got a movie out, Dazed and Confused, which is really the only resume I have. It's enough to get me in a few doors, but it's not enough to be a lead pipe cinch. Oh, but I need an agent. I'm in Hollywood. I'm sleeping on this guy's couch, Don Phillips, the guy I met in a bar in Austin who gave me the chance to go audition for Dazed and Confused over a year earlier. I'm on his couch. My money's now into the 3 digits. I'm below $1,000. I'm starting to get a little like, I've been there a few weeks. I'm like, hey, I need, can you give me an agent meeting? And he snapped at me. Not yet. You need it too much. This industry, Hollywood, smells need. You're one and done, buddy. What you need to do is get the hell out of here. Go with your buddies and go ride motorcycles somewhere. Hell, pick Europe. I don't care. But go somewhere till you quit needing it so much, because if Hollywood smells you needing it, you're done. You're never in. And I did. I put on a backpack with my $800 and I went off with my two good buddies, Rory Cochran and Cole and we rode motorcycles through Europe. I came back. I wasn't even thinking about an agent. I was what he called, now you're cool again. Now you're cool. And I was rolling along, and he's about a week later after I returned. We're sitting there at dinner. He always made filet mignon and then had a scoop of Haagen-Dazs ice cream for dessert. Oh, he's done. He's since moved on.
А ми вже приїхали?
Ні.
А тепер?
You will never win.
Ну як ти? Щодня робиш, що від тебе залежить? Тримаєшся і допомагаєш при цьому решті? Як і ти, ми пережили шторм. Як і ти, ми вистояли і стоїмо. У нас ті самі радощі, думки і події. Таке саме серце, в якому живе надія. Чернігівське. Таке, як ти.
Це доставка Сільпо. Тож відчиняй двері пакуночку, що зробить твій настрій смачним. Замовляй на сайті shop.silpo.ua чи у застосунку. Сільпо. Доставка смачного настрою.
Darren has made that shit.
Ми, українці, ще нічого так не любили, як меми про леопардів. Нічого так не чекали, як новини від іноземних партнерів. Нічому так не раділи, як постам про наші перемоги. Нічого так не цінували, як можливість ділитися почуттями без обмежень з безлімітом на застосунки в тарифах Джойс. Джойс. Безліміти на важливе. Разом ми зможемо. Vodafone.
Завантажуй уклон і отримуй знижки до 50% на перші 3 поїздки. Від уклон тобі привіт. Рухай свій світ, рухай свій світ.
coming through, get out of my fucking way, trick. It's coming through, get out of my fucking way,
All we have is 3 suspects flying cars over натуральний чай, колекція класичних та яскравих фруктових смаків. Чай Піквік створює теплі моменти єдності.